The world is full of stories. Stories of forgotten places, extraordinary people, and the moments that change us forever. I'm Tim Harder, a former tech CEO with a background in science. Yet, some of the most important things I've learned had nothing to do with technology. Join me as we explore the stories that shape us. This is Unkown Journey.
This was the most complicated mission to date. They did everything Apollo.
It is the silence which becomes so inherent, so big, that the silence in itself is a sound. So every 8 minutes the bombs will detonate for 9 years in a row. From 1964 to 1973, American aircraft dropped 2 million tons of bombs, 2 million on Laos. So roughly a plane load every 8 minutes for almost 9 years, 24 hours a day. Roughly 30% of cluster bombs failed to explode, leaving tens of millions of tons scattered all across the country. So, when dropping something from a plane, please remember that somebody is living beneath those bombs. I remember a story by Ray Bradbury, the famous science fiction author. I think he was most popular in the 70s of the 20th century. And he wrote a story about a planet of rain, a planet on which it's constantly pouring down. And I remember a scene in the book in which one of the astronauts speaking to the commander, and the commander is yelling at the astronaut, do it, come on, do it. And the astronaut suddenly becomes, he goes up in tears, and he says, "Sir, I can't hear you. I see your lips, but I can't hear you, because the rain on the helmet has made me deaf. And it was almost, no, it was not almost, it was deafening. So this was a quite impressive scene, because I think when you are bombed so heavily throughout 7 years, I think this is must be sheer terror. So what comes to my mind is that the scene Ray Bradbury is describing in his book, you know, I can really associate it with Laos, because the planet is quiet. Nobody ever talked about it. It rarely has been noticed in the history books in that book. And the planet simply wasn't on the radar. But they landed there. I think it was an emergency landing. And what's quite interesting is that the silent planet made such a noise. And I think this is what captured my attention firsthand when I saw a documentary about Laos, because here at Unknown Journey we discover things. We are keen on learning more about people, what drove them to do this, or what causes things to happen. And I think humanity is such an interesting species, isn't it? Because something which is so quiet makes such a loud noise. And I think it is the silence which has become so inherent, so big, that the silence in itself is a sound. And this sound is resonating today. I saw people walking through the jungle with metal detectors trying to detect bombs and cluster devices buried in the ground or lying on the ground. And they then would really let them detonate from afar, so the area is safe. So still today, kids will find these cluster devices and play with them, because sometimes they look like little balls. And we must be aware that when we start wars, they will resonate decades later or centuries later. And if you see Laos as for what it is, with really decent food, nice people, and all that is there, I think it's a beautiful country, and it's a forgotten country, because nobody talks about it, what happened there. Everybody talks about the Vietnam War or Cambodia, but people rarely talk about Laos. It's not about politics, it's about the beauty of life here. We should respect it, and I think it doesn't matter who's starting a war. I think what matters most is that we realize how terrible this is, how terrifying and appalling that is, that we can be friends and we can overcome all differences. I remember a veteran, cannot memorize his name right now. He said that he would have fought against the Americans and what he thought of them today. I think the interview had been done, I think, 2006, so years after the war, years after 1973. And he said, well, we can be friends, he said, because, you know, when we were in that war, it was you against me. But now we have peace, so why argue? And he said, we can be brothers again. This was most impressive. We can be brothers again. So when you're asking yourself why Unknown Journey makes some sinister discoveries at our free will, well, it is about learning something from the past to building a brighter future. And Laos, the forgotten country of the silent wars, is a country in which a silence is still very, very loud. And we should be aware that life must be protected at all costs. So I admire the people walking through the jungles trying to detect the cluster devices. I admire the people try to say that we can be brothers again. no matter who you are and who I am and where we originated from. But this is such an important message. And thanks a lot for taking your time for watching this, and take care. Every 8 minutes the bombs will detonate for 9 years in a row.